You know, every day I wake up and I see another cancellation by Microsoft or another delay of a video game by Microsoft. I just ask myself the question, what the hell are they doing? I grew up in the Microsoft Xbox era and I was a huge Halo player. I was very loyal to this brand new console because it was a very powerful console and it was competing against Sony, who by that time was basically the top dog in the video game industry. And even way before that, I grew up playing the Nintendo and the Super Nintendo and the PlayStation 1 and the Genesis. I have seen it all in the industry. I have seen all of the rivalries and I have seen everything that this industry has given us in terms of consoles. Every single generation of consoles that has come and will come to this industry has been based off of rivalries, and deep down to the core, it has really filtered down into two main competitors, of course, Sony and Microsoft. But whatever the generation though, whether it was Nintendo or Sony or Sega or whatever, this generation today has got to be the most one-sided console generation I have ever seen. Coming from someone who is very loyal to Microsoft and really likes what they do with their systems, it's hard for me to say this, but there is just not much of a reason to buy an Xbox One right now, and given the fact that these systems, the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4, are kind of on their way out in the next couple years, what do you do if you're a Microsoft fan? Well, you wait for games to be released on your system that you can't get anywhere else, but of course, as we know today, that's not really happening. In the past, the Xbox brand was really strong, and the original Xbox and the Xbox 360 had really top exclusive lineups. Of course, most of these lineups were spearheaded by, of course, Halo, but in terms of the Xbox One, how will it be remembered in 5 years or maybe 10 years, let alone 25 years down the road? How will the Xbox One be remembered? I'm not sure, because there is just not that many games out there to play. It is bananas to me that we could look back at something like E3 of 2014 and basically see the future lineup for the Xbox One games and what happened during this press conference. Well, most of the Xbox games that were going to be exclusive, or at least partially exclusive in the form of being timed exclusives, were basically canceled or delayed. And remember, the Xbox One came out in 2013, which means the spring of 2014 was going to be their first E3 show to basically show what the future was going to be like for the Xbox One exclusive lineup. Well, what did we get? Project Spark? Cancelled. Scalebound? Cancelled. Phantom Dust? Cancelled. Knoxville? Cancelled. And now, Crackdown 3 delayed. This is crazy and unacceptable and just a kind of an insult to the fans who bought the Xbox One, which by the way was pretty expensive when it came out. Well, maybe it wasn't as expensive as the PlayStation 4, but still, people put a lot of money into their systems and they want really high quality games. And have the loyal Xbox One fan bases out there gotten what they want and gotten what they believe to be the expectation from these trade shows, especially in 2014? No. We've gotten the occasional good idea game like Sunset Overdrive and a few Halo games here and there, but overall, I mean, take a look at the landscape of the Xbox One. It is just barren. For the most part, the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360 were pretty close, I would say, in terms of giving players really good games to play. Of course, the PlayStation 3 was a little bit more expensive at launch, so I think the pricing was a little bit wonky, which pushed players to get the Xbox 360. And then from there, though, once that stabilized, everyone from the Xbox 360 to the PlayStation 3, everyone out there got really good games, and that's really important. The Xbox 360 was cheaper, it had great games, and it had a better online service because we all know that the PlayStation Network really launched in just a really god-awful state on the PlayStation 3. But other than that, you could kind of throw your hands up in the air and just say either one was really good. This generation, though, is nothing like that. It just seems like Microsoft doesn't want to put a huge investment in giving players really good exclusive video games, and that's a shame because, well, we buy systems for games. We don't buy systems for features or online stuff or being able to watch our TV and Netflix a little bit more conveniently. We buy systems for games, and the PlayStation 4 has really delivered better games more consistently, and I think it's as simple as that. I think the only reason right now to buy an Xbox One is if you have friends who have that system, and that's really not a great selling point for a console. You want your console to be the best possible console on the market and to get people to buy it because you have the best games, not because people are kind of forced to buy systems because their friends are Xbox only people. And as we all know, despite the PlayStation being a more expensive console, it did outsell the 360 and the Xbox One year over year over year. So clearly, it's not about being the most affordable console or the console that has the most features. It's about delivering the best possible games. And that has been shown in history since the beginning of this industry. To be frank, the Xbox One needed better exclusives 2 years ago. There has got to be something to explain all the cancellations and the development hell that has been going on in the past few years. Why are so many games canceled? Why are so many games delayed? Where are the exclusive video games? These are 3 questions that every single Microsoft fan is probably asking themselves and has been asking themselves for years. And still, what do we get? Nothing. If I could take a picture of my setup right now that's a few feet to my left, you would see my Xbox One basically sitting there as a paperweight. This year has absolutely sucked to be a Microsoft fan. I mean, what games did we get? Did we get an awesome new Halo, a new Gears of War, anything like that? No, we got Sea of Thieves, which was basically a piece of crap lie, and State of Decay 2, which was a mid-budget throwaway game that was fun, but it really wasn't anything special. The Xbox One is in its prime. It's 5 years down the road, and every single developer out there probably has already figured out the best way to optimize titles for it, and the best way to develop high-quality games that are both efficient and can be good. So, what has happened? I don't know what's going on at Microsoft. Maybe they're focusing on the next console, or they're just trying to focus on the next TV feature for the Xbox One. But in terms of the games, there is just nothing right now, and very, very little to look forward to. There's been some speculation that there's going to be a new Gears of War game, a new Halo game on the way, and maybe Forza Horizon 4 this year, but really, if those games are ready for a holiday release in 2018, I will be very, very surprised. Maybe a teaser for a new Fable game, maybe an announcement for Sunset Overdrive 2, but in terms of anything else, that's about it. Now that Crackdown 3 has been delayed until 2019, 2018 is looking like a barren wasteland for the Xbox One. As such, at E3, we're going to see some more Crackdown 3, that's guaranteed, and maybe something about that dark rumor of another Perfect Dark game that was supposedly in the pipeline, although that has been very much unconfirmed at the moment. But beyond that, we're talking about quite the lonely desert if you're an Xbox One fan looking for an exclusive video game. The only hope for me, for the industry, for fans, is that Microsoft explodes on the scene of E3 with some amazing announcements and some amazing games that are coming soon, because I think most gamers right now that have Xbox Ones are just getting really impatient and they want good games and they want them right now. Sony, on the other hand, is looking like an absolute beast, and their future seems to be very, very bright with games like Spider-Man, Dreams, Days Gone, Ghost of Tsushima, if I'm saying that correctly, The Last of Us Part 2, which I'm super excited about, and of course, Kojima's Death Stranding. So stop for a second and take all of those games and compare them to what we're looking forward to on the Xbox One. Crackdown 3. It is so weird that so much is riding on Crackdown 3, considering the series itself has never been the greatest series. Crackdown 1 was pretty good and a nice surprise. Crackdown 2, I don't think many people like that game. So that's it. That's the Crackdown legacy. That's it. Crackdown 3 is all we have to look forward to based off of this mediocre franchise. I mean, if that is not a signal that Xbox One is in trouble, then I don't know what is. Crackdown 3 has been through development hell and delays up the wazoo, so I mean, what kind of options does Microsoft have? I mean, you can't really release it as is because the game's gonna flop because it's not finished. You can't really cancel it because it's gonna piss so many people off. So I guess it makes sense that they're delaying it so they can scale it back and just finish what they started. Still though, that's not an excuse for the complete lack of Xbox exclusive video games and the fact that they are canceling so many games and just pushing so many games back. That is on Microsoft themselves. You know, I think it's quite the shame that the Xbox One got this treatment this generation because it deserves much better. It's a very high quality piece of technology that is backwards compatible and can play games in 4K. It's just a shame to see that Microsoft doesn't really care about, delivering these games to gamers. And instead, they're just twiddling their thumbs, or maybe designing their next console, or maybe they're just at lunch. I'm not sure what's going on with Microsoft. I'm not sure what's going on with the Xbox One. All I know is that my Xbox One is collecting an awful lot of dust these days. Thank you very much for watching my video today, guys and gals. I really appreciate it. If you did enjoy it, let me know down below in the comment section why, and hit that thumbs up button as well. If you did not like it, tell me why, and then you can click that thumbs down button, but it will make me pretty sad. So have a great day, guys, and we'll see you in our next video. Peace, love, and happiness. Until then, you guys have a terrific day.